What's going on, everyone? It's Urban Armed, hanging out in the garage, and I've been getting everything set up for some 300 Blackout Subsonic loading. I've been loading on the Lee single stage up until this point, because with new calibers that I'm loading, even though it's more time consuming, I like taking my time doing it on the Lee single stage before I move over to a progressive. The only thing I really load on the progressive press is the 9mm and different bullet weights and 223. That's pretty much it. And I just now picked up another tool head and it's set up for 300 Blackout. Since I've got my recipes down pretty good for, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Thought I would just kind of show you my process, and also looking to see if anyone out there has any ways to improve my process or ideas that might help, as I'm just kind of still figuring some of this stuff out. I'm cutting 223 cases down to the 300 Blackout specification using a chop saw. I have a template for that, and also I've got an RCBS trimming station, case prep station, I think it's what it's called. Ray Edwards turned me on to that when I was out to his house over the summer. He had one, I just loved it, so I picked one up. I'll kind of show you that in a second. So I'll take a sip of my beer here. Hoegaarden. I love those wheat beers. There's got all this funky stuff floating around when you pour a Hoegaarden, but I always like them. They're good. So excuse the mess. I've been kind of doing this for the last few hours, and I'm one of those people that just everything gets all over the place, and then at the end of it I have to clean everything up and reorganize everything. It's just kind of chaotic, so it's gonna look a little messy, but hopefully you'll be able to kind of glean what's going on. So here's some cases right here that I've already cut, you can see, and basically I'm using this chop saw with this little jig and this template, or not a template, but this little guard here. Excuse me, I've been drinking beer. So basically my process is I'm just taking a 223 case and I drop it in, I cut it, so the end result from that is what I just showed you a second ago here. When I get about 40 or 50 of these, I'll lube them up with some case lube. I like to use RCBS case lube. Stuff has always been pretty good. I also have some one-shot, Hornady one-shot back there, and stuff's pretty good. So once I lube them up, I'll actually prep the case here on the Lee single stage. I've got an RCBS full-sizing die in here, decapping die as well. And once I get it out of there, I'll measure it. If it needs to be trimmed, I'll use the Little Crow Gunworks case trimmer here with my drill. Then I'll take it over to the RCBS station here, just do the chamfer and deburr, the pocket uniform, just kind of clean it up, make sure everything's good to go. Also, I have my Dillon Super Swager here. If I need to swage the case, if it's like a Lake City shell casing, you know, oftentimes you'll have to swage that out real quick, so I'll bump that real quick before I go over here and swage it. And then from that, it pretty much ends up right here in my ready bin. And so these are all ready to go. I'm ready to load these up. I'm using Hornady AMAX 208 grain polymer tip. These things are fun. They shoot great, suppressed, super quiet. I'm using Accurate 1680 for my powder. And with this particular recipe, again, subsonic loads, I'm using 10.7 grains, and using an RCBS bullet seating die, and just a Lee factory crimp die. I like using factory crimp dies. Not everyone does, but I do. So yeah, I mean, basically, I've been doing this whole process on the single stage up until now, and it's been working out. I've been able to get, move through, some rounds pretty quick and everything, but I like to take my time and just get really consistent with everything before I move over to the progressive. So trying to figure out if this is the most efficient method with the tools that I have. I'm not exactly sure, but I figured I'd just make a quick video and talk about kind of what I'm doing here. when I loaded these rounds before, I wasn't cutting the brass. I was actually just ordering it online, just the brass, and then I was just loading them on here. So I wasn't doing any case prep at all. I mean, other than just measuring it. But I mean, it was already good to go. You know, purchasing it is, you know, basically just load it and go. So I didn't really have to spend much time with the, you know, setting all this stuff up. But I want to make more, and I want to be more effective and more efficient at making, you know, 1,000 rounds over a weekend for some, you know, for some fun. So I'm trying to save money, and I have a lot of 223 cases that I can convert. Once I have a few thousand cases converted, you know, I won't be having to convert all the time. I'll just be reloading it. You know, as long as the cases aren't cracked or anything, I'll just keep reloading. So, you know, this may not be involved in the process every single time, but it is going to be for a while. I like to do my case prep on a single stage, even for 223, because, you know, with case trimming, swaging, stuff like that, it's just easier to do here rather than, you know, you can buy a case trimmer for the Dillon, but they're kind of expensive. I just haven't committed that far into it. I probably will, though, sometime soon, probably this summer or before the summer comes. I also have a little station over here. These some cases that I was drawing. I'm also kind of evaluating cleaning the cases. Normally I use a tumbler, and recently picked up one of these sonic cleaners, the Hornady sonic cleaner, and to be honest, I'm not really a fan. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I'm using the right amount of solution. I'm using distilled water. It's great for cleaning guns, the gun cleaning, their gun parts. Like, you know, I actually was cleaning this bolt carrier, this charging handle, and stuff like that. That worked great. But for brass, it doesn't really seem to do shit, man. I mean, it does clean it, but it's not like as nice when you tumble it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I've been cleaning it for 30 minutes, and I don't use the heat on the brass because due to the recommendation in the instruction manual said don't use the heat. You don't need heat for brass. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. So I'm experimenting. That is new for me. The Hornady ultrasonic cleaner. The RCBS case prep machine is new to me. I mean, I'm just newly incorporating that in. And of course, this is all new as far as cutting the brass. But everything else is pretty much, you know, I've been doing that for years. But anyway, love your thoughts, feedback, any kind of suggestions on, you know, expediting any of this stuff. Or just, you know, maybe just... maybe you don't have any, and that's cool. Just hanging out. So, just having beer. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay frosty. Enjoy the weekend. And, yeah, I'll catch you sexy bitches later. Bye.